3. Hey, what's up? How's it going anyway? I'm going to do some small walk on the bike there. I'll try to bring you along. It'd be a repair to, well, not repair, it'd be a replacement to fuel pump, and I'll tell you exactly why. As you see in the bike there, the problem is like about, I don't know, 7 years ago I done a complete rebuild. I bought the bike, bike was crashed. So I took everything completely apart. I replaced all the seals, all the bearings, all the kind of stuff, like from rear crank. I took the gearbox apart, like replaced all the bearings and seals in there, like, and final drive and so on. Like the whole bike was being like rebuilt. Now the only thing I haven't done, it's the fuel system. And anyway, I put on about 35, I think, 1,000 miles on it, which is, I'm not sure now what's the in kilometers. And the bike was going fine, but it developed lately a problem. It will intermittently cut out and start it back on straight away when you're driving, like literally like for a second. And that was very intermittent. Like it could happen, like say maybe once a month. It's just random, like, you know, no particular, like. So what's called, the hall stands are being replaced on it, so that definitely wasn't an issue. But lately when I started using it, the bike was parked for about a year, haven't been used because I was involved in construction. This problem developed kind of more pronounced more often, and when the bike cuts out, it won't restart now. So you have to stop, key on, key off, and then restart, right? So my thinking to this now, like if that was like what you call my ignition problem with the ignition or something, like you know what I mean, I would kind of notice there, like it'd be on and off. It's not each cylinder losing the power either, because like it'd be running on one cylinder, like. Well, I'm thinking it's my fuel pump, have a little bit of issue with the fuel pump, so I'm going to replace it because I have one. And so at the same time, because I chipped the bike a couple of years ago, I want to put in new injectors, which is like the new type. They've been used on newer bikes. They have like a better spray pattern. It's not like a direct, it's kind of spread, like, you know what I mean. So I'm gonna replace them at the same time, like, and we'll see how that will help or will make any difference, like, you know what I mean. It's very hard to pinpoint the problem if it's very intermittent, like, because if the problem is there, you can trace it, but if the problem is not there, but it just like comes up on and off, like, it's hard to kind of pinpoint. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do now, like, I'm gonna take the bike apart. I'm probably gonna fast forward all this stuff, like because there's loads of pornography needs to be taken off, like stuff, all these fairings, sides, both sides, seats, and all that kind of stuff. And then tank has to come off, and so yeah, one fuel pump is here, ready to go, and we'll take it as it goes. Like, anyway, I'll probably put it on time lapse. Right, let's begin. Okay, I have a tank off, bit of a chore, taking off all this pornography, like looking good stuff, whatever it is. The bike looks a bit tatty, but I mean it is what it is. Like, I mean, bike was being used every single day and stored outside, like, so yeah, so I don't care, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm gonna do this now. Kind of, you have to take it off all this the bolts here and take it out the system out, like, and what you call then we just start replacing stuff on the inside. I had to drain the fuel because I didn't realize, because I haven't used the bike in a long time, like, and it was full of fuel, like I mean, must be about 20 litres. So that was a bit of a pain. Had to drain it. But anyway, that's done now. It's in the clear, so let's go. Let's see if we can take this off and see what's inside. Anyway, let's begin. Alright, we continue on with this bike. We have a pump installed in it. Now, I don't know, you probably didn't see much in it, but the actual pump that I put in, it's the same thing, but it's slightly, the plastic bit is slightly a little bit taller than this. So just be careful when you install it. How to explain, if it's twisted a little bit around axis, so what happens then, there's a float there for fuel tank float for like for a fuel gauge will catch on it, and you don't really notice it, but I bet you when you install the tank, and it will always show either full or empty, like, you know what I mean. So just make sure like it moves freely, like, but otherwise like it's all good. Now if you see any other videos I had there, I updated the chip good while back. So now I think it's time to update my injectors. So now, if you can have a look, the injectors, like they're already what, 25 years old, so they're probably not the best shape. Anyway, and that will benefit more kind of cheap as well, like so I got the kit here from whatever this place is. It's from Germany anyway. Nice tidy little kit. It comes with the instructions, and everything's brand new. Now it only set me back like something like €150, including the postage, and it should be like a straight on swap. So I'm gonna record that process anyway. And now I don't know how much will I know difference on the bike, but there's no harm. Like, I mean, because I already had all that pornography like off, like, so I said like right same time, like might as well throw it in there and see like if that and benefit. Like, doesn't really cost much. So alright, let's begin trying to get this sorted. Okay, let's begin. So first of all, we have to take it off electrical, so just squeeze and pull. The next thing is, just get this out of the way a little bit, take the fuel pipe off. So there might be some petrol be leaking, so I might throw a little rag underneath. So that's basically this little clip. It should slide back and somewhere safe, and that pipe should come off. Anyway, we'll take that off in a minute. Let's drain this fuel first. So what we're going to do, take this bolts off, then take it out and let it hang there, and then I'll take it off with the rest of it. Okay, so we're just going to clean up a little bit here, because all the stuff, all the new kit comes in with the new O-rings and everything. So it should be something like this. Now, I'm going to take it off this bracket, and there is a rubber ring, I think it goes on it. So we're going to use that. Yeah. Okay. Where can you? There you go. So that little rubber ring will go in there, and then that's supposed to slide on top of that. And the last and the not least, it's a clip. It's supposed to slide in this way. So just have to do another one the other side. Well, it's the same thing, so there's no difference. There's the difference in the heads. What can you see? The different spray pattern. This one, yellow one, goes like a straight, and there's like 4 little tiny holes in the upgrade ones. Right, after all that installed, I balanced the injectors. So that's what's like now. That's about 3,000 revs. Right people, just want to recap after all this been done. So I used the bike now for, I think I put on about only about like 200 odd kilometers since I done the job. Yeah, it seems to be, fingers crossed, problem solved. Now, so just get back to like what problem I had at the start. It was very intermittent. Like it's very easy to, it's very difficult, I should say, to find the intermittent problem because it shows up like very seldom. So the problem was like when you were driving, the bike would like just for an instant like will cut the power, but straight away it will get back on. Like it felt like the fuel starvation, but it kicked back in, like, you know what I mean. Now the way of the deduction I had, like because the hall sensor was replaced and all the wiring was like all good, like, so I knew kind of that wasn't a problem. It's not like I'm losing each cylinder, so it couldn't be like just the injectors, like, so I'm losing the whole bike, like, you know what I mean. And so on when it came closer, kind of it happened like more often and kind of longer. Eventually the bike would completely cut out and I had to pull in and turn the ignition off and back on and to restart. So what that did, like, that probably recycled the fuel pump and kicked it back in, like, so I said it was just a bad spot in the fuel pump or whatever it was, like, so it was giving me a hassle, like, you know what I mean. Anyway, I replaced it and that seems to be a problem solved. But at the same time I replaced the injectors as well because they were cheap. So it was, and I had all the stuff, all the fairings were off, so it made sense, like, to replace it. It didn't cost me that much money, and it'll probably more benefit for upgrade that I done for ECU, like, so it's kind of a little bit better probably running. Now when you're replacing the fuel pump, depends, like, just the one I had, the plastic bit slightly a little bit longer on the newer fuel pump, so when I fit it in back in, what happened there, the float for the fuel gauge would get stuck on it. So just make sure that doesn't happen, because the last thing you want to take the bike apart again to fix that, you know what I mean. So that's the one thing. And make sure you have a new clamps for hoses, because the clamps that on it, they kind of one use clamps, like it's just the steel ones, the crimpled, so once you take them off you never use them again. On the replacing injectors, it's straightforward, like just take the old ones out, clean up and put the new ones in, but just make sure the fuel pipe, when you take off, either, like, I didn't do it like but you should, like what you call clamp it off the pipe from the fuel tank, or just leave the injectors in it until you're ready to replace, and then when you take them out and just put them back in, like, because the fuel will be leaking out onto gravity. I actually thought, like, the what you call the fuel regulator, the pressure regulator will kind of stop the fuel coming out, but that's not the case. In the car that doesn't happen because the fuel tank sits lower than the engine, but on the bike obviously the fuel tank right above, and the gravity just takes the take care of that, like, you know what I mean. So that's another thing, like, and obviously, like, once you fit everything in, like, make sure you balance them out, like your what you call your injectors, so that way you'll be 100% sure, like, a bike should run normally. Yeah, well, that's my take. Now regards, like, do I have any improvement on running? I feel that, it runs richer, like because the ECU new microchip in it. But what regards, like it's a little bit smoother, and you feel that the grunt, like when you like under load, when you twist the throttle, you feel like a bike wants to go, like, you know what I mean. But I can't see like any like mad improvement, like, you know what I mean. It's like when the people replacing, like, say, putting in the racing air filter, like from K&N, like, you know what I mean, and they think like, oh yeah, the bike is much faster now, like it looks much better. I don't believe all that, unless you get total comparison to the older bike, like jumping from one to the other. Like, I don't have that opportunity, like, you know what I mean. So to compare to them, like, if I get that opportunity, I will do it, like. But as far as I'm concerned, like the bike runs slightly better, like, but there's no like much dramatic improvement, like. So that's my take on it anyway. But it's easy enough job to do it, like, just time consuming to taking the bike apart. That's the longest part. But taking the fuel pump and everything is like, it's easy enough, like, you know. So anyway, I'll be finishing on this one, and thanks for watching. Sure.